really that zone's Olympics. It's where they get all the funding from and medals and so on. So it is quite challenging, and you really have to listen, you really have to be patient, and there's a fine line where I have to say, no, this is what we're doing, this is what we have to do. And I've told the president a couple times, I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm a good fit, much like what Frank was saying, because in my mind, this is the direction. You want to win medals and you want to have a program in the future. There are some things that have to happen, like practicing more than 2 times a week for an hour, if you're going to be successful. So I know Craig's culture was a little bit different, and it's taken some time to get back there. So a lot of this has to do with being patient, young and ladies. It really does, and because when you leave the United States, you're really not in control anymore. I hate to tell you that, but it's a whole different deal. You're in their company, you're in their land, and so you really kind of have to be patient.
Just add one story. We were in Guam, World Youth, at the end of the tournament, and a little Korean girl, was sitting there crying. 2004. She's crying, and just sitting there bawling. No, she hadn't got me or any of that. That does happen. She was crying because she was getting picked out of the program. She was not getting moved up the adult team of her last year as a youth. But this was her last tournament that she had a chance to medal. And since she didn't medal, she was going to have to spend quite a bit of time now in the military service. Because if you bowl for the country, you are exempt from the military.
That's right.
You do not have to bowl for, you don't have to serve. And, Korea is definitely a place I don't want to be in the military, in the North and South. But they had to repay the society, had to repay the country back for all the money they invested in her because she didn't medal, because she was being kicked out. So there's some motivation with some of these countries and some of their players that, like talk about culture, we just don't understand. Now, we went a little bit past. I want to thank you, everybody. Let's give a hand of applause to lunch is ready over at the ITRC.